What if I told you the reason impulse spending keeps winning has very little to do with discipline? It is not because you are broken. It is not because you are bad with money. It is not because you need one giant breakthrough. Most people stay stuck because they keep chasing exciting fixes while ignoring the boring rules that actually build a life. They look for motivation. They look for hacks. They look for the perfect budget app, the perfect challenge, the perfect Monday. Meanwhile, their future is being decided by tiny purchases, tiny excuses, tiny emotional reactions repeated every week, not once, repeatedly. And that is how 6 months disappear. By the end of this journey, your life will reflect the choices you practiced in silence, not the plans you talked about, not the intentions you posted, the patterns you repeated when no one was watching. Stay until the end, because the final point is the exact reason most people stay stuck in the same loop year after year. My name is Zoe, and this is Exponential Mind. Money changes when thinking changes first. Rule 1. Delay the purchase by 24 hours. The average 90% sees something, feels something, buys something. The strong version of self creates space between emotion and action. That delay matters because impulse spending feeds on dopamine. The reward is strongest before the purchase, not after it. The brain wants relief now. It calls it urgency. It calls it a deal. It calls it self-care. But most urges die when time enters the room. This is not about waiting one day. It is about becoming the kind of person who does not obey every emotion immediately. Rule 2. Never shop to change your mood. The weak version of self uses spending as emotional regulation. Bad day, buy. Stress, buy. Boredom, buy. Lonely, buy. The top 1% learns to separate feelings from financial decisions. Why does this matter? Because every time you soothe discomfort with spending, the brain learns a dangerous lesson. Pain means purchase. Emotion means transaction. That loop gets stronger each time you repeat it. You are not just buying an item. You are training a nervous system. Become the person who can feel discomfort without outsourcing it to a shopping cart. Rule 3. Remove saved cards from every app. The average person worships convenience. One tap, one swipe, one regret. The strong version of self adds friction on purpose. Behavioral psychology has shown something simple. The easier an action becomes, the more often it happens without thought. Friction forces awareness. Awareness interrupts autopilot. If you need to stand up, get your wallet, type the numbers, and look at the total. Many bad purchases collapse before checkout. This is not about making life harder. It is about making bad decisions slower. Rule 4. Name every purchase before you make it. Not what it is, what it really is. Not shoes, mood repair. Not gadget, novelty hit. Not snack delivery, convenience tax. Not sale item, fear of missing out. The average 90% labels purchases by product. The strong version of self labels purchases by motive. This matters because the brain hides behavior behind language. If you call it a reward, it feels deserved. If you call it stress relief, it feels necessary. Truth destroys excuses faster than budgets do. Become the person who sees motives clearly. Rule 5. Use cash limits for danger categories. Everyone has categories where logic disappears. For some people, it is clothes. For others, food delivery. For others, beauty products, tech, hobbies, tiny daily treats that somehow become monthly damage. The average person treats every category the same. The disciplined person knows where they are weak and builds systems there first. Cash works because physical money creates pain of payment. Watching bills leave your hand feels different from tapping a screen. Digital spending hides reality. Cash reveals it. This is identity work. Mature people do not pretend they are strong everywhere. They build guardrails where they are weak. Rule 6. Track every impulse you resisted. Most people only track failures. I spent again. I messed up again. I have no discipline. That mindset keeps you trapped. The strong version of self-tracks wins. I almost bought it and didn't. I closed the app. I walked away. I waited. I chose peace over clutter. Why does this matter? Because the brain repeats what gets noticed, attention reinforces identity. If you only document failure, You build the story of a failing person. Track resistance. Build evidence. Reprogram self-image. You need proof that you are changing. Rule 7. Make boredom normal again. Impulse spending thrives in overstimulated minds. If silence feels unbearable, you will buy things just to feel movement. The average 90% cannot sit still for 10 minutes without reaching for a screen, a snack, a cart, or a distraction. The top 1% rebuilds tolerance for ordinary moments. This matters because dopamine systems get distorted by constant novelty. When the brain expects stimulation all day, normal life feels empty. Spending becomes one more way to chase intensity. But wealth is built in calm seasons, quiet mornings, repeated routines, uneventful days done right. Become the person who does not need excitement to feel alive. Rule 8. Decide your purchases before entering temptation. The weak version of self makes decisions inside stores, inside apps, inside emotional environments designed to manipulate attention. The strong version of self decides before entering. I am buying groceries and leaving. I need one replacement item. I am browsing nothing today. I am spending 0 this week. This matters because decision fatigue is real. The more choices you face in the moment, the worse your judgment becomes. Environments are built to wear down resistance. Pre-decisions protect energy. You do not need stronger willpower. You need fewer live negotiations with temptation. Rule 9. Build a visible future fund. Saving fails when the reward feels abstract. Spend now is concrete. Save for later is vague. That is why many people lose. The average person keeps money in a faceless account with no emotional meaning. The strong version of self names the mission. Freedom fund, travel fund, move out fund, peace fund, emergency power fund. Now the brain can compare 2 real rewards instead of 1 real reward versus 1 invisible idea. This is compound interest at the identity level. Every time you transfer money into a meaningful future, you vote for the person you are becoming. Rule 10. Stop trying to become a spender with control. This is the final point, and it is where most people stay stuck for years. They still secretly identify as impulsive. They say things like, I'm just bad with money. I'm a shopaholic. That's how I am. I always ruin progress. Then they try to layer tactics on top of an identity that keeps sabotaging them. It never lasts. The average person tries to control behavior while protecting the old self. The strong version of self buries the old script. You are not an impulsive person trying to improve. You are a disciplined person practicing consistency. Read that again. Behavior follows identity more than effort follows motivation. When your self-image changes, many battles disappear because they no longer match who you believe you are. That is the hidden reason some people transform fast, while others restart every month. They stop negotiating with an outdated version of themselves. So start simple. Choose 1 rule. Execute it quietly. Repeat it on boring days. Repeat it when no one claps. Repeat it when emotion says later. Repeat it until it becomes normal. Because real financial change rarely looks dramatic in the beginning. It looks like fewer taps, fewer excuses, fewer packages, more pauses, more awareness, more self-respect. Then one day, the numbers finally show what the identity built in silence. Comment the number of the habit you are starting today. Commit to it in silence. Your future self is watching you right now, hoping you don't quit on the boring work that changes everything.